Good morning, gardeners, beginner or professional, whoever's watching this video. I hope I can just give you some inspiration and help you see what I'm doing with my garden. I have never planted a garden in my life. In fact, my husband even said I have a black thumb. So I thought, well, I'm going to do this and see what I can get to grow this year. So what you're seeing in front of you is my salsa garden. As you can see, I planted them in pallets, and the reason I did this is I'm going to give you a quick little look at my backyard, and as you can see, it is pretty tiny. So instead of going out, I had to go up. So I'm going to come over here and show you what I've planted. These here is everything that you'd put in a salsa. So I have some sweet banana peppers and onions and jalapenos, which, as you can see, this jalapeno here, I did put seeds in it several weeks ago and they didn't grow. So last night I'd seen on a YouTube video where you can actually just slice up a jalapeno with the seeds in it and just plant the whole slice. So that's what I did last night. I planted about 5 slices in this little area right here in my jalapeno. So we will see what happens with that. This here is one of my bell peppers. And then what's next to it is my cherry tomato. And next to that is my little bitty tiny small bell peppers. And what I did with those was those actually came from my own food. So what I did was, as I was cutting up for dinner, I would take the seeds and then I just planted the seeds. And as you can see, they're growing pretty big. These look like they're just starting, but there is a ton of them in there that are fighting for space. So here in a little while, I'm going to separate those out and give them each more space so that they can grow into great big, beautiful bell pepper plants. This here, I was going to use to pull out all that dirt and just plant something different in there. Add in some different potting soil with it, to give it some nutrients. But there was something growing in it, and what I remember putting in it was like some pumpkin seeds. So I just left it. I'm going to leave it, and that's going to be like my mystery plant, and I'm hoping really, fingers crossed, that it actually grows up and looks beautiful and gives me some really cool looking pumpkins. And as you can see, the sign says weird pumpkins. So we will see if they're weird, if they're normal, whatever's going to happen. What I did see, which I think I might try to do this year, is where as your pumpkins are growing, you put some kind of cage on it so it like grows into the cage and it actually makes faces. So I thought that was pretty cool, especially for Halloween time and for Thanksgiving. You could already have your face already on your pumpkin, and that's how it grew. So the rest of the garden here is everything that you would put in salsa. So like I said, this is my salsa garden. I have onions here. These I took from the grocery store. I just cut off the ends and I put them in water and I let them grow some roots, and then I replanted them. So I have, not roots, I cut off the ends. This right here, my scallions, that I cut off the ends. That one was doing really, really good, and it's already dying back a little bit. But these are my onions from the grocery store, where I just cut off the bottoms of them where the root part is, and I put it in water and let it regrow roots, and it started sprouting. And so I'm planting them out here, and look how big those have gotten. I've got yellow and white ones growing. My red ones are taking a lot longer. There's a little green stump inside the dirt, but it's not coming out, so I'm really not sure what's going on with that. I do have some jalapenos growing here, and then I have my big gems. Those aren't coming up yet. And then my garlic, over the winter it started really growing, and then it died back after the first frost, so I'm really not sure if that's going to come back or not. My cayenne peppers have not come in. And then I have radishes. I have two different kinds of radishes up here. And unfortunately, my squirrels love these radishes. And every time I come out here, part of the dirt's been moved over, and I guess they're eating the radishes. So I have to figure out something that's going to keep them from eating up my radishes. And then I have cucumbers down here, and I have turnips that are not growing. And then I do have some okra that's here. And I know you're probably thinking that cucumbers and okra and asparagus do not belong in salsa. But I had some extra spaces, so I put those in there. But I have seen where you can make some kind of cucumber salsa, and I have seen okra pickled and make them hot. And so that's what I'm kind of hoping to do here. So as we're going to walk on, I do want to let you know, I did, because I watch a lot of YouTube videos about gardening. I have some special people that I like to watch because they're very informative. But they did tell me that if you'll plant marigolds close to like your tomatoes and stuff like that, it'll keep the pest off of it, because the ones that want to eat your tomatoes, they would rather be on your marigolds. So these beautiful marigolds right here, they're my sacrificial lamb that I'm putting out there to keep my veggies growing big and beautiful. So here's the rest of my backyard. It looks like it's really tiny. It goes on around, it makes an L shape. But what I was going to bring you over here to tell you is these are my raised beds that I put in November. And unfortunately, the only thing that has grown, which I don't know why it didn't grow, but is this honeydew. So let me show you what I got going on, because I do not need this honeydew. I planted a whole bunch of honeydew melon seeds, and here's a bunch of them growing here. And this one's bursting out at the seams. So I'm going to have to like take those and separate them out so every little seedling can have its own little space and really grow big. So that's what I'm going to do probably later today. And then over here, let me come back over here. I do have another bucket on the other side of my backyard. These are my potato plants. And this is what I grew in December. So I have a big question about this, and if you want to comment and let me know your thoughts about this, especially if you've grown potatoes. I started this in December, and it was big and beautiful. It was about 4 feet tall. I brought it outside whenever it got warm, and then a frost hit, or it got too cold for it, and all the foliage died off. So what I had to do was, after a couple of weeks, seeing if it's going to regrow or not, what somebody said on YouTube was cut the foliage down and it'll regrow. So here it is regrowing, but it's also April, and potatoes are only supposed to grow for 3 to 4 months. So I don't know if my potatoes are going to rot if I leave them in there, or if I need to just go ahead and cut it back, let it sit for a couple of weeks, and then get my potatoes out of there. So I'm kind of iffy about what I'm going to do with that. The rest of the potatoes, what I did was I went to Ollie's, and they had these little buckets, and we drilled holes in the bottom and in the side so that water can drain out of it, and I just put some hay and some dirt in it. And what I've saw on YouTube videos is that you can keep mounting them, like every time it grows up so big, you put more dirt, then you put more dirt, and you put more dirt. At about 3 to 4 inches, you put more dirt on top. So I need to do that again today also, because if you see how big they are way above the rim. And what I like about these buckets, not now that they've grown over it, but in the wintertime, if you're growing something in them and it's going to have a cold freeze or something like that, they come with lids and they lock down. So I absolutely love these buckets, and they're doing wonders. So one other thing is, I also planted last night these jalapeno slices in here because my seeds are not growing. And then in the beds later today, I plan on making my garden, planting more stuff in this. I'm really not sure what I'm going to plant just yet, but I am going to plant something. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching my video, and come back. I plan on sharing some more. I have more of my garden over there, but my video is already pretty long, so I will do another video at some point. Thank you.